country. Those three hallowed words aren't often what we read about in this class. More often what we read about in our war literature is the pain, the loss, and the brutality in war. And if that's all there was, then it would be easy to take the next step into recognizing absurdity in war, in saying that there was no point in it all, that those men and women died in vain for nothing. In fact, that's probably the message that the last poem I recited to you was about, when Wilfred Owen used Horace's line that it was a sweet and honorable thing to die for one's country, and referred to it as the old lie. I don't believe that's the old lie, and neither does Lord Tennyson. In fact, I believe Lord Tennyson, when he was writing The Charge of the Light Brigade, was speaking precisely about duty, honor, and country, about a century before MacArthur ever uttered those words. Half a league, half a league, half a league onward, all in the valley of death, rode the 600. Forward the light brigade, charge for the guns, he said, into the valley of death, rode the 600. Does anyone know how far half a league is? Half a league is about 1.5 miles. The British Light Brigade was ordered to charge 1.5 miles into entrenched Russian artillery. The Light Brigade is light cavalry armed with sabers. They were literally bringing a knife to a gunfight, and they charged anyways, 1.5 miles. Forward the Light Brigade. Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. This blunder that Tennyson is speaking of is the fact that the Light Brigade wasn't even supposed to make this charge. The Light Brigade's intended orders were actually to charge a retreating Russian artillery unit. However, the orders were given so ambiguously that by the time they made it down to the Light Brigade, it had been interpreted to mean to charge the entrenched Russian guns that were ready for an attack. However, they saw the guns mounted in front of them, and they knew that most of them weren't going to survive that charge, and they made it anyway, because they understood that there's not to make reply, there's not to reason why, there's but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. This separation of duty between the soldiers on the bottom of the chain of command and the commanders at the top really shows the special duty that belongs to commanders. The special duty to give clear and precise instructions because they know that their men trust them. Their men trust them to take care of them and to only tell them to do what they need to do. Now, it would be easy to say that, oh, because there was this blunder and because they charged somebody they weren't supposed to charge, because they ended up actually losing the charge in that part of the battle, that there's no honor in that loss. But Tennyson moves quickly on from this because he doesn't believe that the honor lies in the success or failure of the charge, but rather in the duty of those men who followed it. Now, if you spent too long as a dooley listening to your upperclassmen, you probably understood duty to mean something trivial like studying your knowledge and squaring your corners or fixing your gig line. But I believe that duty is something much grander than that. Because those things, they amount to servile obedience. And we don't see any honor in servile obedience, so the honor has to come from something else. And I believe that that honor comes from love. From a love that soldiers have for the men around them, men and women around them, as well as for the country back home that they're fighting for. A love so strong that they are willing to sacrifice anything up unto their own lives for that love of their country, and that is where the honor and their duty comes from. Cannon to right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell, they that fought so well, came through the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell, all that was left of them, left of 600. When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made, All the world wondered. Honor the charge they made. Honor the Light Brigade. Noble 600. Thank you.